Oh, oh, guys, you guys see this? I got some of the greatest news. You guys have to see this. We gotta watch it. You gotta watch this. George A. I'm a YouTuber, brother. I love your videos. I just want to say I'm about to watch one, and I'm just so excited because I can't, like, the picture of your video just looks outstanding, so I want to watch it. Let's see what it says. What do you guys think about Greenland? Let me know. What do you guys think? Do you guys want Greenland to be part of the United States? Maybe become another state? 53rd state, 54th? Because we got places in Canada that want to become 51st and 52nd state, maybe 53rd. That's why I said fourth. So let me know what you guys think.
Exactly. Like it would not be a fight. It would just be us taking it easily. Oh, ooh, man, she angered all of Europe. They came out with their usual statements. We are monitoring the situation. We call for restraint. Like 31 million people saw this post. And the Danish Prime Minister, Frederiksen, by the way, look, I have no problem with women in politics because sometimes they are necessary. If they're like Georgia Maloney, okay, I support you. Not this, okay? Not this. Only if they are Georgia Maloney.
Sorry for the commercials, guys.
I'm telling you, very charismatic and clearly likable. You know, Trump is listening to her. He dropped tariffs on Italian pasta by like 90%. Like, you know, she called and was like, Mr. President, we're getting hurt. But someone like this, Trump is not listening to you. Who are you? Who is this? Why did the Danish vote for this person? She's a socialist. Her political party is a socialist party, the Socialist Democrats. You
Cody!
know, and they control Denmark. Trump doesn't
Cody!
well, she released a statement. I must say this very clearly to the United States. It makes absolutely no sense to speak of any necessity for the United States to take over Greenland. The United States has no legal basis to annex one of the three countries of the Kingdom of Denmark. First of all, Kingdom of Denmark. Okay, what are those three countries? Because we want them. Like, we need the other two. You guys have three countries? Why? We're going to take them too. Okay, don't. You should not have said that. She says legal basis. No legal. What are these people even talking about? International law, NATO law. We're allies. Don't do that. You can't. Yes, we can. Who's going to stop us? The Kingdom of Denmark, and thus Greenland, is a member of NATO and is therefore covered by the alliance's collective security guarantee. We already have a defense agreement between the Kingdom of Denmark and the United States that grants the U.S. broad access to Greenland. Yeah, but we don't own it. Ownership is better. You know, if you go lease your car or rent it, it's not the same as owning it. In addition, the kingdom has made significant investments in security in the Arctic. No, you haven't, and I'm going to prove that very shortly. I therefore strongly urge the United States to seize its threats against a historically close ally and against any other country and another people who have stated very clearly that they are not for sale. Yeah, no one said anything about sale of people. Like, we're not buying people.
We're not buying people. We're getting the people of the country, the citizens of the country, to want to come over to the U.S. It's up to the people of that country. They're the ones that built that country. They're the ones that worked hard, you know, worked extremely hard to get what they deserve. So it's up to them. It's up to the citizens, not up to the government. That's how it should be.
This is not the slave trade. We are just
And Greenland, Mexico, if you guys become part of the United States, we will love you forever. We will love you long time.
taking we're taking it because it's important for national security.
Things will be lower, gas prices will lower, all sorts of it'll become a better place. Your country will become a better place.
President said, but I thought this was brilliant. So that was the Danish prime minister, and this is a Danish
Food prices will go down, everything.
person, Simon Hoiberg, speaking, responding to the prime minister, saying, as a Danish person, I think Denmark should sell Greenland. U.S. can infuse cash into the development of Greenland that Denmark has no standing chance of matching. It's better for the Greenlandic people. It's likely that the United States will take it by force, thus negotiating a good deal now will keep the good standing between Denmark and the United States, which Denmark crucially needs. Denmark and the EU could then use that money to fund the Ukraine war instead of picking on EU taxpayers. That would be appropriate. Then he says, by the way, I don't endorse funding the Ukraine war. It seems like the EU has made up their minds about that already. The least they can do is then find funding for themselves instead of picking on taxpayers more than they already do. So you have people in her own country saying, look, give it up. Let Trump have Greenland, then use the money to fund the Ukraine war, not like infrastructure development or funding your military so Trump doesn't take the other two islands or countries you own, apparently. This is the Prime Minister in an interview, once again, saying, please, Mr. President Trump, please don't.
As the Trump administration appeared to warm to the idea of annexing Greenland, the Danish Prime Minister sharpened her rhetoric.
Excuse me, sir, how old were you when you made your first million? What is this for? We're trying to get advice for the younger generation.
We take control. We saw the U.S. take control of Venezuela in just a few hours. What will Denmark do if the Americans do something similar?
Well, if the US chooses to attack another NATO country, then everything
We will call lawyers.
stops. I can't account for what the Americans do, but I can account for what we do from the Danish and European side. And of course, there is full support from the rest of Europe when it comes to the kingdom and the Danish realm. But the borders must, of course, be respected. The diplomatic spat between the two NATO allies was reopened by this tweet of Greenland filled in with the US flag and the word soon. The image was posted by the wife of the White House Deputy Chief of Staff. On Sunday, Donald Trump doubled down on the theme.
Because we need Greenland for national security. And the Greenland Prime Minister is saying they are going to be establishing a direct line with Washington. Yeah, to negotiate your entrance into the American empire. And Denmark says a U.S. attack on Greenland would be the end of NATO. No, it wouldn't, because NATO is the United States. Now, what is Trump's pretext to get Greenland beyond territorial expansion?
I would love to have Greenland be a part of the U.S. I would love it. It would be amazing. That's something that we need, like they said, for national security reasons.
It's the fact that there's a national security element. Chinese and Russian ships are increasingly in the Arctic, and that is just true. Russian naval activity has been spotted more recently, increased activity in the Arctic Ocean near Greenland. And Greenland used to be insulated from outside threats because they literally had a wall of ice around them. Well, we make icebreakers now, ships that are built to go through ice. So that island is going to be increasingly important. And if you look at a world map, I don't know if the EU leaders ever do this, but Greenland is in the Western Hemisphere. Greenland is closer to the United States, to Maine, than it is to Denmark. I think that's a fact. Correct me if I'm wrong. Either way, it doesn't matter, because I don't care what you think if you're a Danish person, a Denmarkian. We just need to take Greenland. It's ours. It's in our hemisphere. The Western Hemisphere belongs to us. I know Alberta, Canada, and Sassy, I know they're going to join.
We need to take Canada too.
Just look how beautiful it is there. We need Greenland for national security, not because we need a better view of the Northern Lights. That's another good reason, though. But if Russian and Chinese ships and their militaries establish a lot of routes around Greenland,
Yes, guys. I just want to explain that this is amazing. We need this. We need to take over all of South America, and we need to take over Greenland and Canada and Mexico. Mexico might be a little harder, they said. but I think we could do it. Wow, amazing.
Will have the upper hand against the United States and Europe. They will have a base of operation.
Yes. Like, imagine America owning all this. All this. Instead of America just being that, we own all of this. We'd be bigger than over here. Why does that say Asia? That's Russia. They did it wrong. That's not. See, that says Asia. That's not Asia, that's Russia.
And for their submarines, that's bad for the United States, that's bad for Europe. They should really be begging Trump to take that country because it would be good for their national securities as well. Ladies and gentlemen,
This is insane, guys. Let me know what you think.
works in a very brutal way. Of course, China and Russia are looking at Greenland like, okay, not enough security around that place. Let's send our ships over there every now and then and test the resolve of NATO, of the United States. We have a base there. It's not enough. We need 10 bases. We need to own it. Why are we protecting an island we don't own? That's the hypocrisy here. The Danish say, oh, they're doing enough for Greenland. But we're the ones defending Greenland through NATO and through having an American base there. That's not fair. Greenland should belong to us if we're protecting it like this. But Europeans have a false sense of reality. That's the problem. A lot of their leaders are not masculine. Even the men, like Keir Starmer, Macron, they're females. They have ovaries. Their dispositions are of women. They don't have a masculine worldview. That's why they're confused. Why Trump wants everything. Why Trump wants America to control the world. Because they're not men. They're not like conquerors. And that's the problem. So they're issuing statements. The United States should stay away from Greece. Stay away. They should know as men that the world is brutal. There are superpowers, serious countries, and not so serious countries. Really, if we're being honest here, the world has three serious countries. The United States, number one, of course, Russia, and China. Those are the three serious countries in the world. The other countries are just vassal states for the other serious countries. The United States has the most vassal states: Europe, South America now, Russia, with Iran, Syria, like China with the African nations they've indicted. Everyone else is just a pawn. You guys are pawns. European leaders are pawns. If the United States decides to sanction somebody,
True.
we do it, and then we tell Europe, hey, sanction that person. And they do, because they have no choice. What are they going to do? Not do what we say? Well, are they independent, sovereign countries? You're not sovereign if we're defending your borders. You won't even defend your borders against migrants coming in from Congo, from Senegal. What did you think was going to happen allowing all those unassimilable group of migrants into the country? Of course they were going to destroy everything. So Europe has a lot of catching up to do. I gave some advice yesterday, a controversial piece of advice to Europe about what they should do to fix a lot of their problems. And it goes something like this. The United States is reestablishing control of the Western Hemisphere after decades of losing that control to communist and socialist leaders in Venezuela, in Argentina, in Chile, in Bolivia, and many other countries. Now, those countries are getting American aligned governments because we are pushing for it. We are making it a condition of existence in this hemisphere to favor the United States. You can't be in our hemisphere and you're in bed with China and Iran and Russia. No, we say no to that. And the reason we're doing that is because we want to eliminate the illegal migration crisis. Because the core core incentive is economic. People are coming into the United States for better opportunities. So we're just going to prop up all their economies, make all their industries viable, give Argentina a $20 billion currency swap so they can survive for a few more months. Their economies are going to grow in the next 5 to 10 years. Jobs are going to explode, and people there will have jobs at home, and there will be no need to invade the U.S. southern border. So even if we get a Democrat in the future and they open the border again, no one wants to come. Europe should do the exact same thing with their former colonies. In Africa and Asia, go colonize Nigeria again. Make Nigeria, Ghana, all these African countries your artificial vassal states. Conquer them, make them good economies. The Nigerians would probably be celebrating. They're free to shop back. Come on. They would take care of us. Because their leaders aren't, you won't have a migrant issue. The problem is if you do mass deportations or remigration and end at that, when the next left-wing nut jobs take power, they're going to open the borders again. You guys are going to get forced diversity. That's the issue. That's why you need to go colonize those countries. Not literally, but you know how happy the French would be? They would probably have national pride for the first time in their lives. Even the British. If France went and pimp slapped all those juntas in Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger that disrespected the French, kicking you out of their countries that you, by the way, formed, and they're out here kicking you out. Take their country and put in a puppet that likes you. Anyways, I could. What am I doing? I don't know how we got on this topic. Thank you all very much for watching. God bless and goodbye.
Let me know what you guys think. I thought that was kind of important. I thought it was kind of important. I thought it needed to be heard. So, America's getting bigger, baby. Now their state flipped around Dr. Steve Turley.
To an already incredible new year. I mean, we're just 6 days into 2026, and look at what's already happened. Tim Walz, the former Democrat VP nominee, is officially politically dead. He's the first victim from the fallout of the Somali fraud. That's just the beginning. Federal investigators are already indicating that the fraud is
Tampon Tim, huh? Tampon Tim's falling, huh? Insane, guys. Well, anyways, guys, I love you. I'll catch you on the next live.